Wednesday night, and we are live from the land of Lincoln in the great state of Illinois. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a return to Peoria and the historic Civic Center as Thunder is underway as we finish up a spectacular run during the summertime months for World Championship Wrestling. And for the next 2 hours, the top stars are here from not only World Championship Wrestling, but from both sides of the New World Order, including members of nWo Hollywood, such as Curt Hennig and Ravishing Rick Rude. Members of the Wolfpac are here tonight as well. And of course, we're going to be bringing you all the action, the blow-by-blow description as we head to WarGames at Fall Brawl on September 13th. Hi, it's Tony Schiavone once again. Lee Marshall, Bobby the Brain Heenan. That's right, September 13th is the date. And Lee Marshall, we found out once and for all at the end of Nitro this past Monday who would comprise Team WCW.
You know, guys, I loved it when I saw Hollywood Hogan's bottom lip started to quiver because Diamond Dallas Page got a hold of that Rolodex. He dialed W for Warrior. Then you add Rowdy Roddy Piper into that mix, and what you've got, if you think about it, who has ever not been defeated by Hogan? It's a very small fraternity. Well, that's them on Team WCW. He's never beaten Piper, he's never beaten Warrior, he's never beaten Page, and he faces them at Fall Brawl.
This year at WarGames bring 3 teams, nWo Hollywood, nWo Wolfpac, WCW, but the one man who prevails, the one man who wins WarGames this year will go on to face Goldberg for the world title coming up in Halloween Havoc.
Well, you know, there's been a lot of animosity lately between Goldberg and Kevin Nash. Also, Mr. Goldberg, world champion. You got to understand something. Hogan could win WarGames. The Warrior could. Piper could. DDP could. Remember this. Every man for himself. Think about that, Goldberg. They're looking for you.
We've got a lot of the top stars here this week. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go to the ring to kick off the wrestling action live this week here on TBS, the Superstation, and the Thunder. And we have, which come commonplace as you look out here at the Civic Center in Peoria, a capacity crowd on hand for Thunder. Coming to you on this Wednesday night. Good to have you with us. As we're going to open up with one of the real power men who has made his return to WCW. Goes by the name of Raph. He knows the martial arts. He has the karate skills. But I really think his strong suit, guys, has to be his overwhelming power.
Well, you get him in there with a man who is genetically linked to a man that for so many years we referred to as Polish power. Of course, I'm talking about Scott Putski, great second-generation wrestler there. And you match power on power, Putski on Raph, and we're going to see a collision of 2 bull rams. It's going to look like one of those National Geographic films.
Well, you know, Scott Putski, like he says, is second generation. But this man here, Raph, is just so big and powerful, and he's been around the corner a few times too. This should be a great matchup.
It's our opening bout here on Thunder. Ladies and gentlemen, during the course of this telecast, we are going to have Konnan of the Wolfpac. He'll be out here with us in singles competition. I'm going to be talking to Diamond Dallas Page, the captain of Team WCW, about his feelings. And I'm also going to be talking, as you see Scott Putski making his way out. Listen to this, guys, with the newest member of nWo Hollywood, and that is Stevie Ray. It all happened Monday night. It was really kind of a shocker, but Stevie Ray now has donned the white and black of nWo Hollywood.
nWo Hollywood certainly has an interesting way of inducting prospective members into their little fraternity.
And Booker T can't be too happy about that, his brother going to the other side.
Well, you know, one would think, and really one needs to really further look at it and investigate what went down this past Monday on Monday Nitro when Booker T was to come out to face Bret the Hitman Hart, but never made it out. Who attacked Booker T? That may be one of the questions I asked Stevie Ray when we will be talking to him during the course of this telecast. Also, ladies and gentlemen, here tonight, including those great interviews, young sensation from Japan, Kaz Hayashi will be with us. Saturn will be with us. Scott Flash Norton of nWo Hollywood, one of the most powerful, strongest men. Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and Chris Jericho will defend his TV title against Alex Wright. Plus, a whole lot more going down here tonight.
You know, Mike Tenay brings a lot of those international wrestling publications around, and the one thing each and every one of them talks about is Kaz Hayashi. I'm anxious to see this young man tonight on Thunder.
You can see the size differential here. Obviously the bigger man. So would have the leverage advantage, one would think, would be Wrath. But as we talked about, Scott Putski very powerful, very strong. And Wrath also comes in with a salty demeanor as well. And you could see it, you can almost feel it after that knife edge chop on Scott Putski. Putski sent into the other side now, he runs over him with a lariat.
Wrath looks to me like he's got more confidence than he had before, and he looks like he's in a lot better shape.
Is that another way of saying he's gotten meaner than he was before?
You got it.
Okay.
Of course, Brain, you've always been an advocate of being mean or being aggressive, and that's exactly what he's doing here. Follows his opponent on the outside, and he left. And a knife edge count. Well, fans, the excitement that's reigning in WCW right now, unparalleled throughout the course of 1998, with the arrival of the Warrior, and the Warrior forming the Revolution. Watch out!
Whoa, watch that big man!
Top!
I'll tell you, Putski the man in the corner, he has still got him.
Got a 2 count.
You know, you're talking about how big this man is, Wrath, but how agile he is too. A man climbs those top ropes and he can walk the ropes.
Ducking low, Putski that time over the top, trying to send him over.
He got him.
Sunset flip, and he got a 2 count. Well, the revolution that began Monday when we were on WCW Monday Nitro Live, the formation of the One Warrior Nation, and the revolution is on. The Warrior is going to be, without a doubt, and is right now, one of the strongest, most undeniable forces in pro wrestling today, because he has the backing of the fans behind him, the warriors that he calls to out there. Look at this pickup here.
If this is what I think it is, he calls this the meltdown.
And it melted down Scott Putski in a hurry.
Yeah, if you're down, you're not getting up, that's for sure. Wow.
Looking good.
Wrath returns to Thunder as he runs right over Scott Putski. And Scott had a little bit of a winning streak as of late on all our programs on the WCW network. But Wrath putting down, impressive win. Here it is again, Ray.
Wrath, big, powerful man. Look at this move. Picks him up, puts him right on his shoulder, and drives him. I thought he was going to drive his head right into the mat. You can leave a wake-up call. Putski will never answer. Your winner, Wrath.
Wrath the winner of this opening down here on Thunder.com. World Television Champion Chris Jericho. I'll be talking to Diamond Dallas Page. Konnan is here, K-Dog, a member of nWo Wolfpac, and as we head into WarGames, the Fall Brawl, when we come back, I'll be talking to the newest member of the White and the Black, Stevie Ray. Stay with us on TBS. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back to Thunder Live in Peoria, and welcome you back here to TBS. As we said earlier, it was certainly a shocker when nWo Hollywood got its newest member. I want to bring him out at this time, accompanied by Vincent, the newest member of the White and the Black. Here is Stevie Ray.
Oh yeah, Lee, I think that's a bad career move.
Well, I still want to hear from Booker T. We really don't know who beat Booker T up, but in really a very short time, Booker T found himself A, without his World Television Championship, and B, without his big brother.
But if I had to pick a guy to be on my team that would back me up for a fight, I'd want him.
All right. There's a lot of questions that need to be asked, and obviously there had been a difference of opinions between you and your brother, Booker T, but for you to put this shirt on shocked everyone, I must say, this past Monday on Nitro.
You know, Tony Schiavone, a lot of people have been wondering what's going through my mind. What is Stevie Ray talking about it? Well, I'm going to explain it to you. I'm going to explain it to that no announcing Mike Tenay. I'm going to explain it to Bobby Heenan and every one of these ingrates in this town tonight. My brother let J.J. Dillon get in his ear when Stevie Ray wasn't around. It's been going on since the ages of time, and you know it. I take exception to it. I don't care what you want, sucker. Stevie Ray is here. I'm with the nWo because 3 years ago when things wasn't going so good for us, who stepped up to the plate? For Stevie Ray and Booker T. I'll tell you, Hollywood and Eazy-E, as far as I'm concerned, I owe them a debt. I haven't forgot where I came from, and I haven't forgot who helped me out. So as far as my brother goes, I don't know what happened to him in the back, but I do know one thing. I'm with the NWO, and I'm with the NWO for life. On second note, a little later tonight, Hollywood just called me on my cellular phone. He's got a bounty out on that no good, rotten, roughneck, modern day beatnik, Diamond Dallas Page. Hollywood told me, Stevie Ray, bring me that burnout's head on a platter. And tonight, Dallas Page, if you got the guts, step up to Stevie Ray, and brother, I'll slap Jack and yak you right in the ring.
There it is, a challenge to DDP as we send you back to the ring here on Thunder.
You offer a challenge to Diamond Dallas Page. I guarantee you, Brain, it's not going to go long before that challenge is answered by the kid from the Jersey Shore.
Well, Diamond Dallas never turned down a challenge before, never asked for help from anybody before. It's going to be very interesting. You know, Stevie Ray standing out there in that black and white NWO shirt just doesn't look right to me.
No, but you think about maybe the operative word of the entire argument is loyalty. Is he loyal to his own brother? Well, maybe not, but he does say that he is loyal to Eazy-E, Eric Bischoff, and a Hollywood Hulk Hogan. He mentioned actually a debt of gratitude that he has waited 3 years to pay back. So perhaps Stevie Ray still is a man who values loyalty above all. Maybe it's misplaced and misguided loyalty, but it's loyalty nonetheless.
If he had loyalty, Lee Marshall, he'd be loyal to his brother. He has no loyalty.
You're 100% right, Tony.
Something's got to be wrong for you to agree with me. All right, next matchup is going to be Mike Enos against Bull Payne. It's a debut for Bull Payne here on Thunder, but not a debut for Mike Enos, who we've seen before. Very powerful, strong, a veteran. He's going right after Bull Payne. How about the challenge to DDP? And apparently a bounty is out. I can see that. I can see where NWO Hollywood would want to really divide Team WCW heading into WarGames, get rid of maybe Page, then maybe focus on Warrior, and then Roddy Piper.
Well, if nothing else, Diamond Dallas Page has turned into a super thorn under the saddle of Hollywood Hulk Hogan. He's had to deal with him in the last 2 pay-per-views, and he's going to have to deal with him in WarGames as well. So Hollywood Hulk Hogan, I know you'd love to get rid of Diamond Dallas Page, but doing it and saying it are 2 different things.
Obviously, I said I would be talking to DDP, who we know is here tonight. You know he's going to have a response to that. No challenge as far as Page is concerned, goes unanswered. And as Bull Payne missed, Mike Enos showing his quickness as well as power, getting away from that. Now sending Payne for the ride to the ropes. Big power slam out of the right side.
You know, you'd think that Hogan would know better than that by now. They have left Page literally in a 6'6" cast of lumps and bumps, but he keeps getting up. And as long as Dallas Page continues to get up, he will be a thorn in Hogan's side.
But I know how Hogan operates, and he'll have that thorn in his side only for so long. Then he'll figure out a way to totally destroy it. I've seen him do it over the years. Don't put nothing past that man, along with Eric Bischoff. They're the most dangerous twosome in this world today.
One thing we've known, and we may not like them, and obviously we don't, but NWO Hollywood never lacks for a plan.
Never.
Payne up on the apron.
Oh, man! What a move by Bull Payne. Flying lariat takes Enos down.
Enos rocked the back of his head up against the mats, and Payne did the attack. Enos caught him that time. Look at this.
What a power move by Mike Enos.
Goodbye, Mr. Payne.
Oh, boy. You can see it. You can see on the face of Payne that time. The pain, but the realization that any moment a belly-to-belly on the floor would put him down. He's going to pick him up again, and he puts him up against the ring post.
And I know that feeling. When a guy gets you hooked and you can start feeling and pick you up, you know there's no place and there's nothing you can do to stop it. You just hope you land on something soft.
Yeah, well, that ring post hardly qualifies, Brain.
No, not at all.
Tony, you made a great point about nWo Hollywood. They're a strong team because they never seem to run out of options. Oh, wow. Side slam by Enos.
Enos very confident. The Minnesota native picked the man up. He's going to the attack once again.
Jawbreaker by Payne.
That was a great counter move by Payne. Enos gave him ample opportunity that time. Holds on to Payne now. Watch out.
Man. You imagine the strength that took to throw a man like Bull Payne halfway across the ring?
Here's a pickup again. Enos showing us a lot here tonight.
Mike Enos has come an awful long way as a singles competitor. His forte for so long was tag team competition, but he's looking great tonight as a single in Peoria. Wow! And is this crowd with him? Look at this!
The fall-away slam for the turnbuckles. Covers and he pins it. That was a big win for Mike Enos. Do not forget, in this telecast, we're going to have the Disco Inferno against Ernest Miller, the Cat. We're going to have Konnan, and we're going to have a whole lot more as Thunder continues. We're live in Peoria, back after this timeout. A reminder, fans, of 2 hours of WCW Saturday night at 6:05 p.m. Eastern Time. This coming Saturday, right here on TBS. In action will be Stevie Ray, Chris Jericho, the television champ. Ming will be in action. We'll also have Konnan of nWo Wolfpac, and Lee Marshall. I understand you're going to get a chance to interview Ming. Did you know that?
Says who?
Says the producer. It's all this Saturday.
Stop it.
On WCW Saturday night. How about that? All coming up.
Ming.
I'll give you a little hint. If you've eaten before you talk to Ming, wash your hands. If he smells food, he goes nuts.
That's all coming up this Saturday right here on your station for pro wrestling for over 25 years. WCW Saturday night, and here's a real competitor.
The Cat.
The Cat has certainly won his awards in tournament karate fighting, but he has made what we feel has been a very smooth transition into the ring in pro wrestling, combining his skills that he already knew with the new skills as a pro wrestler, guys.
Well, is he a multiple-time world karate champion? But the one thing I gather in just talking to Ernest Miller and listen to others talk about him is he's got a real Aretha Franklin issue going, you know, all about respect. He just doesn't think that he's getting the respect that's due him. He feels he's very underrated, although, as you said, Tony, he's made a tremendous transition from karate and kickboxing into professional wrestling.
Well, if you can add karate and kickboxing to your repertoire and put it in with professional wrestling, you're going to be a tough man to beat.
It's dance time here on Thunder. And as the Disco Inferno comes to the ring, gives us a chance to tell you about tomorrow. What a big day it is. Tomorrow, Thursday, August 27th, in Uniondale at the Nassau Coliseum. Because tomorrow morning at 10:30, tickets go on sale for Nitro returning to the Nassau Coliseum on Monday, November 9th. And tomorrow at 10:30 at the Coliseum box office, when tickets go on sale, world champion Goldberg and many of the Nitro girls will be at the Nassau Coliseum. Tickets to the box office tomorrow in all Ticketmaster locations.
You know, Goldberg is the #1 wrestler that the fans really enjoyed today, but Pi Beta Phi sorority really loves Goldberg. Colleges are getting behind him, high schools, everybody.
I know that everybody came here tonight to see the Disco Inferno dance. Do you want to see the
That's what you need to do.
I did not come here to see you dance, Disco. I did not come here to wrestle. I came here to show you Well, I'm the 3 times world karate champion.
Chop him up.
Best thing he could have done, yank the microphone away from you and let's go on about it.
Exactly. Whoa, man!
Kicked him in the back of the head as the Disco Inferno was taking his ring jacket off. How about that for intensity from the Cat?
This might not take very long at all. The Cat, as he said, 3 times the world karate champion, and now he hits him again with a tremendous kick for the cover. 2, 3, that's it! Disco didn't even get that goofy shirt off.
Incredible. He obliterated.
Cut the music off!
What's this about?
WCW tried to make me a wrestler. Try to make me this wrestler right here. I'm not a wrestler. I'm a 3-time world karate champion. And there's nothing or no one in that locker room can do a damn thing to stop me. In this ring right now, you see a wrestler and you see a world karate champion. And there's nothing anyone can do to stop me because I'm the real deal. I'm the greatest.
Now, fans are not appreciative of this show of emotion and show of confidence from the Cat, but he did obliterate the Disco Inferno. More action from Peoria next.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Need a little excitement? Step into a Slim Jim. Oh, yeah!
Welcome back, fans, as we continue here on TBS in this capacity crowd on hand in Peoria in the Peoria Civic Center. I said in a few moments I'm going to be talking to DDP, one Diamond Dallas Page. You know he has a lot to talk about, especially since we heard from Stevie Ray a few moments ago. Silver King, one of the luchadors from Mexico, makes his way out. One man will emerge coming up in WarGames. That one man will go on to face Goldberg for the world title. 3 different teams, and you know, you have 3 teams, 9 men, a little bit different rules, but one thing has not changed, Brain, and that is the danger that the athletes have to face, endure, when they go into the 2-ring double cage.
Well, like we said earlier, it's every man for himself. There are no friends, that door's locked, and everybody's striving for one thing, and that's to win, and that's to get a shot at the WCW Championship belt, owned now by Goldberg. So when you get that many mercenaries, thugs, and liars and thieves in one ring that'll do anything to win a match, it's a very dangerous situation.
Konnan of the Wolfpac makes his way out. Enables us to let you know in 2 weeks, Thunder will originate from Lexington, Kentucky in the Rupp Arena. That's Thursday, September 10th. For our fans there in Lexington on campus, the Wildcat fans, tickets are available at the Rupp Arena box office and Ticketmaster. And then Thursday, September 24th, the home for Thunder that night will be Norfolk, Virginia, the Virginia Waterfront, and the Norfolk Scope. Of course, that part of the country being battered by Hurricane Bonnie right now, but Norfolk Scope that night, Thursday, September 24th. Tickets, the box office, and all Ticketmaster locations.
Let me speak on this. Órale! Arriba la raza! Yo, you know the black and white be talking about that for life, but everybody knows that the Wolfpac somos unos vatos locos forever. But more importantly than that, right now the Wolfpac and all y'all are body and órale!
Yeah, if you see Konnan and Lee Marshall, any combination of the Wolfpac, be it, we know it's going to be Big Sexy, Kevin Nash, the leader, but it could be Nash, Sting, and Luger, or you could put Konnan in there. It doesn't matter. Any member, any combination will make for a lethal team for nWo Wolfpac.
Well, Tony, you've played sports and you've coached sports, and you know the importance of having a lot of bench strength, and nWo Wolfpac certainly has that. They are very, very deep.
Konnan and Silver King, two men who know each other quite well, battled in Mexico and here stateside as well. Full-arm drag and twist now, and a good go-behind. They know each other very, very well. Well, there's a different Konnan that Silver King is facing right now, and a different Konnan than the one we witnessed last year.
Look at this.
Time.
Whoa! Wow.
And scissor takedown. Konnan now draws from the strength of the people. The people love him. He's become a member of the Wolfpac. He's become a very valuable member. And he's very much different, although the same mechanics, the same tactics are still there. He's still one of the greats. Longtime Mexican heavyweight champion. Now a member of the Wolfpac, he goes to the midsection again.
And former U.S. heavyweight champion.
Absolutely.
You know, he always says, arriba la raza, which means up with the race, up with your own. Let me give you guys another Spanish lesson. How about this? Viva la revolucion. The revolution. You know what I'm talking about, Brian.
Here's $2. Go get us 4 tacos and a small diet.
Stop that. I'm talking about the Warrior and the revolution that started on Nitro. And you get your own tacos.
Marshall now pays his telephone bill or Taco Bell.
I know what you're talking about, Lee.
Thank you.
One warrior nation, the revolution. The revolution that proved Monday it was bigger than the pen being wielded by the man in charge, Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff, obviously the leader, the man who's in charge of nWo, of WCW, thought he had the stroke to keep the Warrior out, to keep him down, but that is not the case. He does not have the pen strong enough to combat the will of the millions of fans supporting WCW and the Warrior, and what a move that was.
Now, you don't think Eric Bischoff has had some sleepless nights pacing his room, walking back and forth, wondering what to do about Piper. Piper says he's the only man Bischoff can't fire. Wondering what to do about the Warrior. Wondering what to do about Hogan, DDP. He's got a lot of things on his mind. I bet that man hasn't been to bed in 6 months.
Not only that, think about Hogan, as we mentioned earlier. Okay, Bischoff can't fire Piper, but Hogan has really never beaten Piper. He's never really beaten Warrior. He's never truly beaten Page. I mean, you talk about the lower lip quivering. Both Bischoff and Hogan have to be at their respective homes right now, shaking and quaking.
Into the corner, watch out. Good move, using the middle turnbuckle as a springboard.
But you know, I want to take a little bit of that back, because Hollywood Hogan, he really didn't get to be what he is in this sport by being afraid of anybody or backing down by from anybody.
I think a lot of times what we see from Hogan and what's really going on in his mind are two different things. Hogan plays the great game of poker. He's one of the greats.
He always has.
And you know he and his nWo Hollywood team will be ready come the 13th of September.
Rolling clothesline by Konnan.
For WarGames. These people here behind that black and red, aren't they?
They really are. Watch out, and a seated drop kick from Konnan. Well, in its truest form, when it gets down to it and all 9 men are in there, pretty soon it's going to be every man for himself, and therefore the friendship, the allegiance that you pledged to your own group is going to be no more, because everybody wants a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. And one man will get that.
Gut wrench to cover.
1, 2, coming up at WarGames.
And it's usually the man you least suspect.
Well, a lot of times, you know, you take a guy like, let's say Konnan is in there. Konnan, a lot of times, would not get a world title shot because of many factors, not the least being politics, but nevertheless, a win by Konnan would propel him to a world title shot that he so cherishes.
And you're right. You've never met a young man that got into this sport that didn't at least one time aspire to be the heavyweight champion of the world, and this is the chance that they've all dreamed of.
Tequila Sunrise is on, and Mickey J checking with Silver King. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of this one. Wrapped him up again with Konnan, and the win streak continues for Konnan. The winning ways continue now for nWo Wolfpac, and hey, why not? You need a win streak. You need momentum. As an individual, as a team, going into the most dangerous night in pro wrestling on Sunday, September 13th at WarGames.
You know, Tony, sometimes you have no momentum. I don't care how good you're doing in there, that's going to take its toll. Momentum has an awful lot to do. That's why I believe Goldberg has that winning streak. He's got that momentum going. And so does the black and red right now.
You know, if K-Dog is going to be part of this team, Kevin Nash is probably thinking he needs a mat tech.
Rowdy, and Bowdy. I don't see no Wolfpac. All I see is the lone wolf. And if you ain't black and white, you need to be black and blue. But you know, Konnan, it'd be too easy for us all to jump in the ring and knock the daylights out of you. So we'll let you choose which one of us do you want to dish out your butt kicking.
Tough spot for Konnan fans.
Like asking the man if he'd rather be shot or hung.
It's just and they've surrounded the ring. It would be best for Konnan to run, but you know he's not going to do that.
Yo.
And Stevie Ray's among them.
He just had a match, too.
You're making a big mistake, Rude. I have much respect for all of you. But you know what? If this is gonna happen, because I can moke you individually, but if this is gonna happen, let's do this. Let's do this. Come in the ring.
He's challenging all of them to get in the ring.
Shows you the guts this man has.
Oh, yeah.
What a smart move. What a great move.
Konnan outboxed them all.
He outsmarted the black and white.
He caught him in the ring and then he left.
After WarGames, there'll be no more games.
That's right. When the cage is surrounding the rings, the double cage, there'll be no running then. Konnan gets the win and then outboxes all the members of nWo Hollywood. We'll be back on TBS. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Thunder Live here on TBS. And please welcome with me, the captain, the leader of Team WCW, coming up at WarGames, the one, the only, Diamond Dallas Page.
Hey, Brain, remember Molly Brown? They call her the unsinkable Molly Brown. This is wrestling's version of the unsinkable Molly Brown.
Did Molly used to work in Chicago?
No, she never worked. She's from. That's not the point. I'm talking about somebody who's got so much fortitude that you can put them down repeatedly, but they'll continue to get back up. And that exemplifies this man right here, the man making his way to Tony Schiavone, Diamond Dallas Page.
He loves to walk through the people. He loves to blend with the people. He wants to feel them slap him on the back. He wants to be part of that atmosphere, the roar of the crowd. That's what this man's all about. And he thrives on people. Master of the Diamond Cutter, DDP.
And you know, I think they thrive on him because one of the things that DDP does best is turn negative emotion and negative thought into a positive. He's done that his whole career.
What a lovely wife.
Yes. All right, Tony, let's hear what the captain's got to say.
Like the captain and Tennille.
All right. Here's your captain, I tell you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Diamond Dallas Page, with WarGames upon us, and now the team is formed with you, the Warrior, and Roddy Piper. It's very apparent from the words from Stevie Ray that Bischoff and Hollywood Hogan have put a bounty on your head. They want your head on a platter, and according to Stevie Ray, they want it tonight.
What's new? As far as the sleazy one's concerned, Sleazy E, Eric Bischoff. How Monday night you come out whining and crying, how nobody gets fired, nobody gets hired, no one gets let go, and no one comes in without your approval. Well, I guess you were wrong about that. Thanks to Hot Rod, Roddy Piper, the commissioner, who I make one on WCW team, he makes two. And this Monday night, we will absolutely positively know who makes three. What I don't get, Bischoff, is why it upsets you so much that I want to help bring in somebody like the Warrior.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I helped bring in Malone, Carl Malone, the mailman. You remember him. Helped bring in Jay Leno. I know you remember him. So why do you have such a problem with the Warrior? Could it have something to do with Hollywood scum?
They know.
That's got a nice ring to it, don't it? Obviously, Hogan, he's messing with your head, just like everybody knew he would. So let's push that off to the side and address what Stevie Ray had to say. You were gonna slap, jack, and yak me? Slapjack? Well, you're a big guy, that's possible. That yak thing? I don't think so. Tonight, Stevie Ray, you want some? Come get. 'Cause tonight, Stevie, here in Peoria, Illinois, you make me want to make you feel the.
So there it is. Diamond Dallas tonight. And Stevie Ray later on here on TBS. And we'll be back on Thunder.
Man, are they with him?
Welcome back to Thunder, everybody, and Mike Tenay has joined us. Diamond Dallas Page made it crystal clear that Stevie Ray can have all he wants. Later on, those two will go one-on-one. The bounty apparently is on hot and heavy from Hollywood Hogan and Eric Bischoff.
Well, Tony, one thing we know for certain, and that is that Diamond Dallas Page never backs away from a challenge. He accepted the Stevie Ray challenge of earlier this evening. They're set for the main event tonight. However, you never know what Hogan and Bischoff have instructed Stevie Ray to do in that match.
As we saw with Konnan a few moments ago, there's a lot of members of the Black and White here. I'm sure DDP is going to have his work cut out for him, so to speak, Brain.
No doubt about that. And remember something, DDP. You're not going to see a Stevie Ray you used to see with Harlem Heat and Booker T. You're going to see a brand new Stevie Ray because now he's got nWo on his shirt. Get ready for that, Dallas. You've had a beating before. You're a very, very tough man, but be very careful tonight. This is a brand new Stevie Ray.
It's the most dangerous time as we head into WarGames and the big event coming up, as you know, on Sunday night, the 13th of September. Let's go back to the ring, continue with action here on TBS. Certainly glad to be joined by the man Stevie Ray called that no announcer, Mike Tenay. Can you believe he said that about you?
Yeah. I mean, no, I can't.
I was talking to Mike.
I mean, I know he said it, but I can't believe he said it.
Well, what are you trying to say exactly?
I'm trying to say I didn't say it.
Now, what was that story about 3 years ago? Hogan and Bischoff stepped up to the plate for Harlem Heat,
Apparently,
and he owes them a big debt of gratitude. What's that?
I don't. Apparently, you know, well, I can only think this. And Eric Bischoff kind of led us into it when he talked about and showed us on Monday the pen and how strong the pen was. Apparently, this has been in the works for quite a while. You know, the big contracts, the money. I have no idea. Of course, you know, Eric Bischoff has not been a member of the nWo for 3 years.
No.
So something went down. Don't want to really go into it. All right, Mike. Evan Courageous in the ring, a young up-and-coming star, and he'll have to face a man we've been most impressed with from Japan, Kaz Hayashi.
Absolutely, Tony, and in my opinion, this young man is really on the verge of breaking through as one of the top cruiserweights, not only in World Championship Wrestling, but in the entire world. 25 years of age, born in Tokyo. 7 years as a pro, and interesting to note that for the first 6.5 years of his career, he wrestled with a mask. Just been recently, the past 6 months, that Kaz Hayashi has been wrestling maskless. Quite an international background, wrestling in Japan, Mexico, the United States. What a solid outing this past Monday on Nitro against Dean Malenko.
And Mike, could you tell me his aunt in Osaka's zip code?
No, but I can tell you that his hero is the man that he faced in his first ever WCW matchup, the Ultimo Dragon, and he's going to try and emulate Dragon's career and hopefully be as successful as he has been.
Against Evan Courageous in this next bout here on Thunder.
Courageous put together pretty good.
Fine athlete. Well, fans, as we know, members of nWo Hollywood, they are here. Diamond Dallas Page has he so notably said, is ready to go against Stevie Ray, and we await that match still to come. Plus, Chris Jericho defends his television belt later on in this telecast against a former champion in Alex Wright. That's all still to come tonight, live here on TBS. Right now, Courageous doing what would be logical against Hayashi, and that is to keep the high flyer grounded, keep him on the mat here.
Smart moves by Evan Courageous, a young man using a ground game, a solid ground game against Kaz Hayashi, because once you turn Hayashi loose, he has really been successful as of late with some top rope, high risk moves.
You were talking about him earlier, Mike. You said this man is going to be a huge star.
I really think so. I think he's just on the verge. He needs a couple of career breaks, there's no question about it, but I think he has the goods. Jumping back kick on target.
He can only get better.
Career breaks, boy, what a term that is. A lot of guys have had them, and most of the great champions have made their own career breaks.
You know, that's something Goldberg has to take in consideration. All these people in WarGames, everyone wants a shot at him. Sometimes you can wrestle a whole career, maybe get 1 or 2 title shots. Like you said, politics, and depends on the situation you're in, if you're in tag team. But this is an opportunity for everyone.
Cover 1, 2.
To get a shot, to go for the gold. Maybe a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and they're going to take it.
Yeah, it's all about being in the right place at the right time, isn't it?
Or the right place at the wrong time. See, if you're in the wrong place at the right time...
Stop him, please.
Nothing I can do about him. He's on a roll now. Hey, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say...
Don't encourage him.
I was going to say there's Sonny Ono.
Sonny Ono?
What's he out here for?
If there's anybody with deep pockets in the sport, it's Sonny Ono. Of course, Sonny Ono at one time was the manager, if you will, or advisor to the Ultimo Dragon. That has since parted ways. Yuji Nagata's been under his tutelage. He has certainly brought in some...
You know, this kid has the potential. Maybe with that proper help, he could go somewhere. Maybe even to the top.
Hayashi, as you can see, right above Sonny Ono, realized Ono was out here watching him, and I think that's the last thing this young man needs, is to be tainted by Ono.
Oh, no, I don't think so. No, I think he needs this man. This man is revered as like an emperor in Japan.
Oh, he is not.
Well, he doesn't get the big limo, but he gets a limo. I mean, he's still revered.
Please.
He took me to a sushi place once, and I didn't have to pay. It's good enough for me.
You wouldn't go unless someone else paid. You know that. Now Hayashi looks towards Ono and goes back to the point of attack once again.
Rolls were tough.
Please stop it. In the formative years of his career, and Hayashi certainly very young, very formative years, he does not need 1, 2 elites like Ono with deep pockets, but then again, you can see where a man with Ono's money could persuade someone like Hayashi to go under his wing, Mike.
Well, you talk about politics and maybe some connections that Sonny Ono would have. Who knows, maybe Sonny Ono is going to be the guy to open the doors for Kaz Hayashi.
That can happen. Oh!
So you're agreeing with Brain. Is that it? Here's almost a cover. Got away from it.
Some guys need guidance. Some guys need a manager. Some guys need someone to look out for them, to do their work for them.
Yeah, to milk them for a lot of money. It's something that you've done throughout your career, I know.
I've made a lot of people money.
Yeah, talk about the voice of experience.
The knees got up that time, and he's got courage. How about that forward roll slam that time by Hayashi? And Kaz will try to go up top. He is so smooth and so fluid. Look at him. Up.
Oh, my tremendous elevation, and connects with the senton backsplash off the top.
And then covers, and he beats Evan Courageous. It almost seemed as if that time he was floating in midair. I mean, he was...
See the hang time?
Just gliding up.
I think Sonny Ono agrees with us. He sees that same potential in Kaz Hayashi.
You know, Japanese speak a different language. You know, they
speak Japanese.
No, I mean, if a man like Sonny Ono with all his money, they look up to him in respect. That country has respect, not like us.
It's time for our Thunderburst slam of the night, Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Well, there's Kaz Hayashi takes Captain Courageous right to the mat and plants him like a geranium. Look at this. Look at the hang time. Just knew where he was going, glided through the air. What an athlete this man is. And I believe with Mr. Ono, maybe talking to this man, maybe some contractual discussions, this man could go far, real far. Like to Chicago from here, it's 200 miles. Your winner, Kaz Hayashi.
It's our Thunderburst Slam of the night, brought to you by Cineburst Gum. Bite the burst with the Cineburst. Ladies and gentlemen, still to come, it's Saturn in action. We're also going to see Scott Norton against Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and Chris Jericho, Alex Wright, DDP and Stevie Ray, and a whole lot more live on TBS. We welcome you back to Thunder, ladies and gentlemen. We're live here on TBS, and that siren issues in the one, the only Saturn. And what stipulations he has before him coming up on the 13th at WarGames in his one-on-one matchup with Raven Mike today.
Well, it's going to be Saturn versus Raven, as you mentioned.
Saturn,
Brawl.
get out here.
Well, someone's got a microphone. Who is that? Lodi has the mic.
Well, we make a big enough mistake giving Lodi a pin. Let's not give him a microphone,
Come on,
too.
Saturn.
Is he talking about Bobby Batista?
I think Hurricane Bonnie, I believe.
Bonnie.
Excuse me.
Do you ever read the newspaper? Do you ever watch CNN? Do you?
CNN's my favorite show. I like it when the rocket ship lands and those guys come out.
Please. Now let's see what this is all about here.
Hey, look. A couple of weeks ago, you broke my fingers.
What?
Were you punching the nose?
He's so blinded by Raven's mind control, he thinks that Saturn is the one that broke his fingers.
Tonight, I want some retribution, okay? So I'm gonna challenge you to a match.
Listen, I don't know what's the matter with you. Maybe you're out of your mind. But first of all, Raven broke your fingers. I didn't. And you got no hope of beating me in a match. Forget it.
Raven didn't break my fingers. Raven's my friend. He likes me. He just bought me a brand new rubber ducky. And in honor of Raven, I'll beat you in a Raven's Rules match, which is like Lodi's Rules. Anything goes.
Listen, kid, don't let that small brain and big mouth get you in a fight you can't win.
He wants no part of it.
Hey, Saturn, what are you? Scared?
Ooh.
If you beat me, I'll leave the flock.
Wow.
But when I beat you, and I know I will, you have to agree to be my personal servant, my slave, until the pay-per-view.
Fine, we'll do this, but we'll do it now.
Whoa! Here, it is on. And he's agreed to these stipulations under Raven's Rules, which means basically anything goes. And Saturn wasting no time now.
And he's only wrestling with 8 fingers.
Right into Lodi he goes. Hammering away.
Oh, this man Saturn is so tough. Lodi's hair must be too tight.
Lodi is no match for him, Mike, at all. Look at this.
This is Lodi's first match in some 5 months. Back in March, he suffered a broken ankle at the hands of Psychosis when he was down at ringside. This is his first time in the ring since then. There's the pump handle. Oh, just elevates him and tosses him halfway across the ring.
Watch
and there's
out.
Riggs.
Riggs has arrived, and Riggs comes in. Remember, this is Ravens in there, sick boy. There he went. Riggs, belly to belly.
Saturn doesn't care. He's handling everybody.
Surrounded by members of the flock.
And that's the group that he's going to set free if he defeats Raven. This man
Here comes
right there
Raven.
on his way to the ring at Fall Brawl. But remember, if Raven beats Saturn, then Saturn has to rejoin the flock and be subservient to the leader.
Raven just staring. And oh my! Death Valley driver. He's got it covered. Look, the referee with the sick boy. He hooks Raven!
He just T-boned Raven.
And the referee still tied up with members of the flock.
He's gonna do it
Wait
again.
a minute, that's Canyon!
What? He put the flatliner! Canyon out of no!
I don't understand this.
What is he doing helping Raven? And he's shaking Raven.
Raven's still got that mind control over everyone.
I can't believe
His
this.
power of persuasion, I guess, finally won Canyon over.
He's telling Billy Silverman to make the cover. And he intimidates him into doing it, and no! Lodi wins the match!
But Lodi don't know it.
Now, wait a minute. Now, Saturn has to be his slave. Lodi's slave, his personal servant until Fall Brawl?
He agreed.
You're right, he did not realize what had happened, but when Saturn wakes up, Lodi's gonna have himself a brand new valet.
Oh, he's gonna be running him all over the place.
The bizarre story here is that Konnan is now siding with Raven. He's turned over to the dark side.
I don't get it.
We welcome you back to Peoria, Illinois on WCW's Thunder here on TBS. Is one of the true powerhouses in our sport. Scott Flash Norton of nWo Hollywood will make his way to the ring. And as he does, fans, I want to take a few moments here. A few weeks ago, one of the true pioneers in broadcasting, Jack Brickhouse, passed away. You probably know his name came with the Chicago Cubs, and he was one of the few broadcasters ever named to the Baseball Hall of Fame. But before that, he was one of the original play-by-play men in pro wrestling, as he broadcast matches on the old Dumont Network from the Marigold in Chicago, from the Amphitheater, from the Rainbow Arena. He worked for us here in WCW a few years in the early 90s with his Brickhouse bonus on WGN. In those years, Jack and I became good friends. It was apparent to me that he was not only one of the most talented, as we already know, but one of the most finest men that I've ever met. We're going to miss Jack Brickhouse. Only fitting we would talk about Jack in his hometown of Peoria, Illinois. He began his broadcasting career right here with Bradley Basketball, and Jack Brickhouse, a fine man, will be sorely missed.
Truly one of the legends of sportscasting, Tony.
And one of the legends in wrestling sports.
Absolutely.
I knew Jack Brickhouse, and for some odd reason, he liked me.
That shows you how good of a man he was. He would look over obvious flaws in people's personalities.
He liked you too.
All right, we're back to action now. We saw Scott Flash Norton. Stop it. Scott Flash Norton, and now a very powerful man as well, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, makes his way here to the ring. This could be a great matchup. Scott Norton has been one of the hottest commodities in pro wrestling over the past 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, the man has not only won matches, he has completely wiped out opponents, Mike.
Totally dominating the opposition, just destroying them almost in record time, mounting quite a win streak as well. It's going to be power versus power, obviously, with the anvil against Big Scott Norton.
Both about the same size, both with the same disposition, same haircut. Two big, real tough men. But Norton's got a mean streak in him that you can just see is building every week.
And have you noticed, ever since he added that power bomb to his repertoire, the win streak, the wins have really mounted up.
And you know what I've noticed most about him is he can't be hurt anymore. It seems like he's oblivious to pain.
You know, being impervious to pain is certainly one of the trademarks of all the great stars, especially when you think about the world champion Goldberg. And from that same mold, Scott Flash Norton, impervious to pain, sends the anvil in to duck. Oh, how about that? That takes tremendous leg strength to be able to send a man down. He just exploded out of the ropes, and now, why not Vincent? Boy, that brought the anvil up now, didn't it?
It's also going to bring Norton into the picture.
Boy, it's tough. It doesn't matter how big and strong you are like Anvil is. It's very tough to have to compete with two men, especially when one man is the size, demeanor, and power of Scott Flash Norton. Into the side of the head, driving the fist in.
Just relentless in his attack outside on the floor. You're right, Tony. That momentary distraction on the part of Vincent has just given Scott Norton just an opportunity, an open window to take control here against Neidhart.
You notice something, Mike? He doesn't rush anything. He just methodically takes his time and systematically takes you apart piece by piece. Just pounds on you. Just one big tough guy.
And he wrestles as if he's mad, as if he's angry, as if he got a phone call from Bobby the Brain Heenan or something. He's just always angry, always mad, and it really it makes his matches even more intense.
He does have an attitude, doesn't he?
He really does. Look at this.
Oh! The other morning we were in a hotel, and about 8 o'clock he was downstairs having breakfast, and the waitress said, "Are you here for breakfast?" He said, "No, dinner, stupid." And she brought him dinner. She was so afraid of him.
Wow.
He's an intimidating soul, this man.
Ask anybody in pro wrestling who one of the scariest men in our sport is, and certainly Scott Flash Norton, obviously world champion Goldberg, Meng is in that same breath, the Barbarian. There are many of them. Intense, driving individuals who just will not back down at all. And how many people have been able to mount this assault on a guy like Jim the Anvil Neidhart?
Well, what impresses me the most is what Anvil's tried to do to Norton. Nothing. Norton has felt nothing.
Neidhart sent in. Foot met the chest. The Anvil goes up, sees an opening, tries to take advantage, cannot even get him off his feet.
And if Anvil can't get you off your feet, you're something.
Yeah, you talked about impervious to pain. That was Jim Neidhart with a clothesline off the middle rope that had absolutely no effect on Norton.
These punches, 5, 6, 7 of them by Anvil, have no effect. Look at how he reverses this.
Oh, sandwiched him in the corner.
300 plus solid pounds.
This is going to be hard to do.
Well, maybe hard for most men, but I'm not so sure of Norton. Look at that.
Oh!
Jackknife power bomb. Is that
Piece of
incredible?
cake.
Here's a cover, and Scott Flash Norton.
This is the first time I've ever seen Jim the Anvil Neidhart completely out of the match from bell one.
Now, he was dominated. There is no denying that. Thank you for getting off of Vincent before he had something to say. As
I'm impressed.
Surveys the carnage. The question is, who can stop Scott Norton when Scott Norton is on a roll? Here's our Slim Jim replay, Brain.
Get a load of this. As powerful as Anvil is, he can't shoot Norton in the turnbuckle. Norton charges in and just waffles him. Picks him up for this big powerbomb. I thought he'd have a hard time. Easier than I thought. There's your winner. One of the toughest men walking this earth, Scott Norton.
It's our Slim Jim replay. Snap into a Slim Jim. Ladies and gentlemen, Diamond Dallas Page will meet Stevie Ray of nWo Hollywood. Plus, Curt Hennig will meet Van Hammer. And when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, the World Television title will be on the line. It's Chris Jericho against Alex Wright. When we come back, live here on TBS. The Brain's coming back too, by the way.
Like I was saying.
Shut up. Thunder continues here on TBS and give you some very special on-sale dates. All of these happen this coming Friday, the 28th of August. This coming Friday, tickets go on sale when Nitro comes to Rochester, New York, in the Blue Cross Arena. That date will be Monday, September 28th. Tickets go on sale this Friday at Box Office, Ticketmaster, and Ticket Express. Plus, Curt Hennig and the Nitro Girls will be at the Blue Cross Arena, Box Office, Friday morning at 9 when tickets go on sale as Jericho comes in, Jericho that is. Also, this coming Friday, tickets go on sale for a big event returning to Fairfax, Virginia, and the Patriot Center. That date, Saturday, September 26th. Tickets go on sale this Friday at the Box Office and Ticketmaster. Plus, Buff Bagwell, the Nitro Girls will be at Gimpville Music in the Springfield Mall Friday from 10 a.m. till noon when tickets go on sale. And this coming Friday, tickets go on sale for our next big event in Baltimore, in the Baltimore Arena. That date, Friday, September 25th. Tickets go on sale this Friday at the Arena Box Office and Ticketmaster, plus DDP. Diamond Dallas Page and Kimberly will be at the Baltimore Arena Friday morning, 10 a.m. till noon to sign autographs to meet the fans when tickets go on sale this Friday for the Baltimore Arena.
I just came back from Boston. I went to Zane Bresloff's promotion for the on-sale tickets for the Nitro Girls. You wouldn't believe what it's like to sign autographs and sit there with the Nitro Girls.
I've done that too. I did that in Greenville, South Carolina recently.
I did in Boston.
So.
When do I get my chance? Zane.
Why don't you call him after the show like you always do and find out?
It's your friend, Tony.
Into the ring now.
My friend.
Here comes Jericho, the television champ. The chorus of boos deafening. Now, I know there are some of our female fans out there that love his flowing blonde locks.
Thank you.
I was talking about Jericho. That think he's very good looking, very handsome, but mostly the. Can I finish here, Brain?
I'm not talking to you.
Mostly the boos are just deafening, and I don't know who's going to get booed more
I
here.
was just going to say, who do you choose to boo between these two?
Give it the double boo.
Alex Wright and Chris Jericho for the television championship.
Tony, who do you think's the better dancer, Alex Wright or Disco?
Do I have to pick?
I sort of prefer Magnum Tokyo, don't you? Tokyo Magnum.
No, I don't like any of them. So who do you like, Frank?
Well, it depends on the music. It depends on the mood you're in. Sometimes late at night when you're in your room by yourself and you're thinking back and you get the radio on.
Stop it. Please, we don't want to hear this. Fans, there's no denying as we head to WarGames.
You ever dress like an owl after midnight?
Shut up. As we head to Fall Brawl, I really think we've talked so much about the power struggle in our sport between factions of the nWo and WCW. With the advent of the Warrior, the One Warrior Nation, all the fan support that he has, he and DDP and Rowdy Piper. I think WCW is back on top right now.
Oh, yeah.
Because, and add into that, even though he's the man at the end of the road, he's not on the team. Add to that Goldberg. WCW right now is the strongest organization. WCW is back on top, regardless of what Bischoff and his pen may do or say. Jericho, as the fans are on him already, wants the fans to shut up, but he has deserved every bit of this.
The king of all loopholes is the king of television now, the world's television title holder. And you know, Tony, I still have a question about Chris Jericho's association with the Giant. Because as of late, that pattern has been the Giant coming to his rescue. Remember when he chokeslammed Stevie Ray? That allowed Jericho to win the TV title. I still wonder what that connection is.
And even it was this past Monday as he backed off Curt Hennig from him. Didn't chokeslam Curt Hennig, but what that was about, I'll never know.
1004 on the back of his tights. You know what that means?
That is, I know what that means. That is a slap in the face of one of the greatest wrestlers in the world. Dean Malenko is what that is.
I knew that.
Now they hook up. Should be a good matchup if you strip away how big of a jerk Jericho is and how much Alex Wright likes to dance. When the bell sounds, these two men can wrestle. They've proved it before. Back to the corner, and Billy Silverman tries to get a legal break, and we get some complaining already from Jericho.
A little refreshment break for the world's TV champion.
How about Jericho? Hooks it up once again, the full arm dragon twist. And quickly Alex Wright goes to the ropes. Well, earlier tonight we saw his partner, the Disco Inferno, get wiped out by a very angry cat, Ernest Miller. We'll try to keep abreast on what's going on with Ernest Miller in the weeks to come. Obviously, this weekend on WCW Saturday night as well. We'll try to get more into that. But right now, I don't think there's any denying that Alex Wright has all the ability to wrest the TV belt away from Chris Jericho, and I think Jericho realizes that. I think that's why Jericho is really trying to slow the pace down here, Mike.
And I think the question as far as Alex Wright is concerned is he going to be able to maintain that focus, that level of concentration, or is he going to wander off with his infamous dance steps?
The man's a gifted athlete, and if he would forget the dancing, like I say about Disco, dancing's okay to do at the right time, the right place. You want to annoy somebody, nothing wrong with doing that, but don't do it when you have a man in position you can do something to him too, or you can gain a victory. And you can't let anybody here at WCW take a breath. If you do, they're going to beat you.
Certainly enabling Jericho to take a breath here.
Never look behind you. You never know who's gaining on you. One of my old sayings I made up.
You didn't make that up. Who did? Full arm dragon twist. And trying to tumble out of it now is Alex Wright. Great balance by Das Wunderkind, if we can still call him that. Jericho tries another tack, tries to just pound his way through. Little do-si-do into the ropes they go. Try to hip toss him. Alex Wright held his ground. Jericho has another step, but Alex Wright has other things in mind.
There we go.
There you go. Put him down with the lariat. And now Alex Wright tries to pick up the intensity here.
Whoa.
Drives down on the pectoralis muscles, the chest, the trapezius, the shoulder region of Jericho here.
And Alex Wright follows Jericho out to the floor.
Oh!
Taking control of the advantage that he has first into the steel, and now the snap suplex out on the floor.
Alex Wright is on tonight.
Yeah, and you can see on his face he's wrestling with an abundance of confidence here. Back jab by Jericho. And again, you can see the chest of Alex Wright getting red. Look at it right there as he will try to send him over towards the near side all the way to the safety rail, bypassing the ring post that time. Very fortunate for Alex. A lot of times, that much momentum, that force onto the ring post can really injure a wrestler. Oh, there's a European uppercut.
Oof.
Once again, Alex Wright.
You know why they call that the European uppercut?
I'm scared to ask, but why?
I don't know.
Thanks for adding nothing again. To the midsection they go.
Oh, you knew.
Oh, Mike, can you help out here?
He knows.
Don't ask me to get out of your predicaments, Heenan. Don't ask me to bail you out.
Whoa!
Over the top, belly to belly. Alex Wright's got it covered. He's got two. And that's all. Could not keep Chris Jericho down. Back kick by Jericho into solar plexus, putting down firmly to the mat once again. Chris Jericho and Alex Wright for the WCW television belt. Remember, Jericho had a match Monday with Hennig that went the time limit. As you know, a shortened time limit on these telecasts for the World Television title. And then the old adage, of course, being the television champion, you do not have to beat your opponent. He has to beat you in the time limit allotted.
The advantage to that match is called stall. Use the clock to your advantage.
Here's a nonchalant cover that we've seen so many times, and
that's never worked.
It's never worked, and he knows that. It's a way to show him up, and it's a way to stall for time as well. Jericho has really slowed down the pace from the opening bell here. To the midsection, Alex Wright goes to the gut.
But you can't take anything away from Jericho. He's a tremendous athlete and a tremendous wrestler here, WCW champion. I mean, you don't like his attitude and the way he talks and does things, but you can't take away his ability.
I think we firmly established that. Mike and I did at the beginning of this match.
Yeah, but I'm doing it in English.
Pulling on the hair, you can see that Alex Wright trying to take a shortcut to put Jericho down.
Well, Alex Wright has been pretty successful battling out on the floor, and he sends Jericho. Oh, then he went airborne. Not sure if Jericho just got out of the way of that attack or not.
Well, I think he did, but I think Alex put the brakes on before he hit the safety rail that time. Now rear chin lock, cranking on that neck, pulling back, and then an elbow blast right between the eyes that time.
What great camera work by our crew.
Well, we got the best. The best in live TV. There's no question. A kick to the jaw, to the chest, as he got Alex Wright coming to the rope. Snapmare takeover, and once again, Jericho, you may call it a stall tactic, and basically in an abbreviated time limit for the TV bout, that would be the case, but that's also a very painful move. Twofold on the chin, and the knee being between the shoulder blades as well. And look at this tie-up.
Oh, my. What a unique roll-up that is, but his shoulders aren't on the mat. I guess it's a submission hold, almost that make-a-wish, that split hold.
And add to that, Jericho's got to pull his elbows up, or he could pin himself. Don't even say it, Brandon. Here's a one, a two. Boy, you can just see how much effort Alex Wright is putting into trying to win this TV belt here. Oh, Jericho is firing back. Jericho's gotten a second wind here now, and you can see it in the blows, how vicious they are. Scoop slam, putting down. Here's the lion salt. It's on target, on the neck, on the head of Alex Wright.
I get impressed with this guy every time I see him, more and more. Chris Jericho.
Alex Wright holding the back of his head. That really hurt. As you can see, he wants to try to slow this down now. He needs to regroup.
He's not trying to lure him in, is what he's doing.
Not a bad job with a finger poked in the eyes to try to stop the momentum of Jericho. It worked. It's a very basic maneuver, but it worked that time. Once again, the European uppercut. Still with a lot of force. That time from Alex Wright. Jericho goes into the other side. Here's a pickup and a backbreaker. How about it?
May have him here.
Cover. Thought he did. He hooked the near leg that time. Had all his weight pressed across the shoulders of Jericho, but could not hold him down. This is a fine matchup for the television belt, being contested live here in Peoria. And there's a spin wheel kick from Alex Wright. Across the chest it goes. Here's another lateral press. This time could not even hook a leg in time, and Jericho was unable to kick the legs out, and thus the kick out.
This has really been a very even, hard-fought contest with both men in control at certain times, and now Alex Wright back using a variation of the sleeper hold.
Supposed to be in a choke.
Billy Silverman checking in there, and it seems to be okay. And once again, as you saw, Billy cast an eye towards the timekeeper there. As you know, an abbreviated time limit, but Alex Wright needs to try to pick up the pace here. This is twofold. This is also to maybe to pick up some more strategy, to rethink his strategy, maybe also to help him get a second win here. Let's see. Chris Jericho with a gut shot, picked him up, and a belly to back to put him down, but both men, as you can see, guys, hit very hard.
I don't think Jericho's got enough to pin him.
And it's about time that Alex Wright pulls out all the stops, because a time limit draw is going to do him no good.
No good at all. And it won't do Silverman any good either. He can't get the 10.
Well, he's up to 6.
It's about done.
Could have a double count out here unless, well, they're both trying to get, it's Jericho, the first man up. Jericho, that was a good move by Jericho. He knew he would get to his feet first, but he waited to Alex Wright, expended energy to get up, and it kicked him down, but Alex Wright rebounds.
That's what I'm talking about. You thinking 2 or 3 moves ahead. He set him up for that move and took advantage of it.
Great move by Alex Wright, waiting for Jericho to commit himself. Oh, great go behind.
He ducked. Jericho, the double butterfly underhook into a backbreaker.
Don't do that.
See, the fans have been on him the whole match, and right now he's starting to respond, and that's what you don't want to do. And enable.
Alex to get up.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Alex Wright to get up. It was a critical mistake by Jericho, and Alex Wright's trying to follow up with something it does. Another backbreaker.
We could have a new champion right here.
Any moment now. Alex Wright climbing the ropes, although not with as much steam as he would have earlier in the match. He's finally up, and Jericho easily just sidestepped Alex Wright that time.
They've given it all in this one.
Well, both are, guys. Very impressed. Great matchup over the top. Sunset flip, rolled through to Jericho. He caught the legs. Could be it.
Bring out the chair and the whip.
Look at Alex Wright fight it.
He needs to get the ropes, but he can't. Look, he's putting the knee right on the ear.
He has
on the back of the head. He's
what a great move.
And perfect ring positioning that time for the Lion Tamer, applied in the middle of the ring, forcing Alex Wright to tap out.
He may be a lot of flash and long hair and a lot of talk, but now I'll tell you something. This man can wrestle.
You're exactly right. As the old cliche goes, when push comes to shove, well, when push comes to shove, Jericho
goes to push.
I was going to say Jericho can perform. You want to keep interrupting me? I'm sorry. Guess what?
Go ahead.
We got
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
We got to take it. We'll be back. Thunder continues live here on TBS. A reminder that Monday, September 14th, Monday Nitro comes to Greenville, South Carolina in the new Bilo Center. Tickets available at the box office and all Bilo outlets. And Monday, September 21st, we return Nitro to Boston and the Fleet Center. Tickets available at the box office and Ticketmaster. Don't forget our fans in Winston-Salem at the Lawrence Joe Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Tickets still available for Fall Brawl Sunday, September 13th at the box office and Ticketmaster. And tickets on sale for Halloween Havoc Sunday night, October 25th at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Tickets the box office and all Ticketmaster locations. Yeah, here comes Curt Hennig. Along with Rick Rude, we've already seen a show of force from nWo Hollywood here tonight, Mike.
Well, one of the big guns of nWo Black and White, and Tony, the question still remains. Who's going to represent nWo Hollywood upcoming at Fall Brawl and the WarGames? We sort of have an idea about Team WCW. Diamond Dallas Page earlier tonight mentioned that we will make it positive this upcoming Monday on Nitro about the 3-man team representing World Championship Wrestling. But what about the Wolfpac? What about nWo Black and White?
Well, you know, Mike, I think this Monday on Nitro, we're going to find out everything. Who's who, who's where, who should be where.
I think we already know. It's Warrior. We mentioned it. Warrior came to the ring, remember, at the end of Nitro?
Yeah, but
have we heard it directly from the Warrior?
See, I don't. Me being a broadcast journalist, I hate to say anything.
You're
stupid.
a wrestling announcer. You're not a broadcast journalist, okay? You understand where I'm coming from with that?
Well, you're going to have to talk to Brickhouse about that. I showed him how to.
You see it, you call it.
Van Hammer.
Hey, Raven!
How am I doing?
You're doing great. One of the fans, as you know, before this match gets underway, we're getting right in the midst of the beginning of another great college football season. The Kansas State Wildcats are ranked high this year, going to have a great year. And we'd like to say hello to our friends in Manhattan, Kansas, especially Katie Laurie and Pat's Blue Ribbon Barbecue, a waitress there. They always watch Nitro. They always watch Thunder. They're at Pat's in Manhattan, Kansas.
I've been there. I know her. Katie Laurie. She's Peter Laurie's daughter. She's got those big bug eyes. Isn't she a distant cousin of yours, one of those deadbeats that steals all the tips off the table when the guys are eating beer nuts and throwing the rib bones down?
Please, I apologize to all of our fans in Manhattan, Kansas.
You should apologize to those that are being waited on by Laurie.
Oh, fans.
Deadbeat.
That's
Don't tip her tonight.
That's from Bobby the Brain Heenan, and here we go. Curt Hennig and Van Hammer one-on-one. Van Hammer's had a big run of success, but every time Rude is there at ringside with Curt Hennig, it brings an added element to his game.
Almost a handicap match situation for Van Hammer, the former Flock member, especially with Rick Rude at ringside. He and Hennig just inseparable.
They've been that way since school.
Sure.
But don't take nothing away from Hammer. This man's put together.
Bell sounds, here we go. And of course, still to come in this telecast, it's kind of like a bounty match, if you will, or a headhunter match, whatever you want to call it. Stevie Ray has promised Hollywood and has promised Bischoff that Diamond Dallas Page will be taken out tonight before he even gets to WarGames on Sunday, September 13th. That's coming up next. And he's talking awfully confidently, especially when you know how many members of nWo Hollywood are in the house, so to speak.
And DDP has to be very careful. We've seen that they have the troops. They're fortified, the addition of Stevie Ray. The troops are here in Peoria for DDP tonight. He really needs to watch his back in that matchup with Stevie Ray.
Great go behind that time by Hennig, but Van Hammer up to the task. There's a pickup. Look at that raw power by Hammer, trying to put him down. How about that maneuver?
That's going to make Hennig mad. He doesn't like to be outmoved or out-wrestled by anybody. Watch, see?
And that was a great technical move, that roll through into a small package by Van Hammer for a 2 count. I think that surprised Curt Hennig.
I notice he goes right to Rude when there's any trouble.
I tell you,
Rude's beginning to look like Gordon Liddy.
That's, as much as anything else, Rude's presence at ringside, former world champ, fine competitor, is intimidating if nothing else.
Oh, no doubt about that.
Runs right through him. Oh, boy! Oh. Van Hammer followed it up nicely, and Hennig quickly goes on the floor.
Goes right to Rude.
And pulls Rude over. Now Hennig is getting mad.
Aggressive.
How about that little eavesdrop? Thanks, guys. Good work. We're right in. He's going to distract him, said Rick Rude. So let's see what happens. Hammer needs to stay focused and not even look. There he goes.
See? Worked.
To perfection.
Masters.
It wasn't much of a distraction, was it? I mean, he just
don't need much.
He just climbed right up on the apron, barely. He just glanced his way, but it was opening enough for Hennig to step right through. And Hennig now is in charge here.
What a distraction. Just like when you ring the doorbell at home and run around back and go in. Same thing, Tony.
I'm not going to tell you anything anymore. To the back of the head between the shoulder blades. Blabber. Forget it. To the midsection, out of the knee. But Hennig fights right back. Not a bad strategy here. That time Van Hammer kicking towards that knee. As you can see, the right knee heavily bandaged and braced. Elbow rocked the head back of Van Hammer.
Watch
Rude.
Watch Rude.
More than a distraction right here. Rude pulling down on the head across the middle rope here as Hennig had the attention of Nick Patrick, the referee.
Manicure.
Well, you love stuff like that, don't you? Of course, Rick Rude, throughout his career, was a great champion, managed by Bobby the Brain Heenan. Curt Hennig, managed by Bobby the Brain Heenan. So you know all about both these guys, Brain.
They were tremendous competitors. They still are.
Oh, the quickness by Curt Hennig, first to get out of the way of Van Hammer as he charged into the corner, and then to follow up the advantage. Van Hammer, knee first into the top turnbuckle, then the scissor stomp to the knee, and Hennig focuses his attack on the leg, the injured leg of Van Hammer.
It's textbook wrestling to take a big, strong man off his feet, and that's exactly what this consummate wrestler, Curt Hennig, is doing. An uppercut. Tell you, Hennig Certainly, here's the roll-up. Got a 2 count. Hennig would be a good choice to be on nWo Hollywood. And I know if you think about WarGames, you think about Fall Brawl, Hennig has some sort of a history, a 1-year history for that event. Here's an inside cradle, nice move, 1-2, but only got a 2 count. See Rude reaching in that time.
But notice how fast Hennig got to his feet.
Very, very quick. Hennig was the man around this time last year that started the dismantling of the Horsemen. And he's been getting involved as well recently in matches involving Dean Malenko, who wants to rekindle the Horsemen. And how about this? The Hennig Plex, and it's over.
So much for the claw hammer.
It's Van Hammer.
Van Hammer.
Well, Curt Hennig was a short-lived member of the Four Horsemen, and he seems like he's going to do everything within his power to keep that group from being reformed.
Rude celebrates, and the fans of nWo Hollywood celebrate as well as Curt Hennig gets another win. The explosion you see, the explosion you feel, means it's main event time on Thunder. And as we head to WarGames, Sunday, September 13th, the captain of Team WCW in a very tough spot, a man who will not back down from a challenge, has agreed to go in what can be termed nothing less than a bounty match fight today.
Well, Diamond Dallas Page is going to face the newest member of nWo Hollywood, Stevie Ray, and nWo Black and White wasting no time sending him into battle. I think it's obvious that DDP feels like he is the hunted in this main event matchup, and Stevie Ray is going to be the hunter.
And nWo does not want Stevie Ray to walk out here for his first match without them watching his back.
They got a plan. We should know that. Konnan found that out earlier. Here it comes.
Stevie Ray.
His first match since donning the white and black of nWo Hollywood.
And you have to imagine that association with the nWo Black and White is really going to raise the confidence level of Stevie Ray, knowing that he's going to have people out at ringside watching his back, as you mentioned.
You know, Mike, when you're a single wrestler or a tag team wrestler, you only have your partner yourself to pat you on the back. Now being a member of nWo, Stevie Ray's got a bunch of people patting him on the back. But Stevie Ray, remember, a pat on the back is only 16 inches from a kick in the butt.
So Stevie Ray makes the first appearance in a few moments. In seconds here, we're going to see the appearance of the leader of the WCW team, comprised of Rowdy Piper and the Warrior. Coming up in Fall Brawl, Diamond Dallas Page. If you think about it, here it comes. If you think about it, being the most dangerous match in our sport, a match that undeniably has numerous injuries. You want a man leading your team who seems to always come back from injury, who seems to be hurt time and time again. No stranger to a cage. Diamond Dallas Page, the right man for the right guy.
And the WarGames event this year is going to be even more dangerous than ever when you factor in 3 teams. And the fact that the winner of the event is going to gain a world's title shot at Goldberg.
And Goldberg's got to be bigger. It could be anybody. It could be from Diamond Dallas Page to Hollywood Hogan. It could be Nash. It could be Piper. It could be the Warrior.
Wow, what a reaction to DDP here in Peoria, fighting his way through the crowd to make his way to the ring.
This is going to be good.
It really is. And as you mentioned earlier, Brain, don't forget that Vincent has arrived with the Stevie Ray. Still have not heard from Booker T since Monday. It was only a couple days ago.
I never thought I'd see this.
I wonder what Booker T thinks about Stevie Ray's turn.
What could he think?
Stabbed in the back by his own brother.
Boy, Page taking this one very seriously. Look at the expression on DDP's face.
Baby Blues are focused. They always are.
When you wrestle Diamond Dallas Page, the object, well, there are many objects. One of the main objects is to stay away from that diamond cutter, but that's easier said than done. He
can put it on you so many different ways.
So prolific with it, you're right, anywhere at all. But then again, look how big Stevie Ray is. Not the easiest man to take off his feet, much less put a diamond cutter on, and they hook it up. Mark Curtis, the referee, and immediately Stevie Ray showing who the more powerful of the two is. Something DDP knows. But that will not stop Diamond Dallas Page. Look at that.
You know, that could be false confidence too. He could let him think he's doing that.
Now Page just grabs the back of the head and pulls him back to the corner here. And ducks. Now Page using
there he goes.
Right hand, side of the head. Page driving the shoulder into Stevie Ray's shoulder. It goes to the arm once again. So Page using the quickness to get the advantage here on Stevie Ray again.
And again, he stays one step ahead of him, ducking the clothesline and right back to the arm. Just challenging him to hit him.
A little trash talking going on here. It's exactly Stevie Ray went for it, and Page nails him side of the head. Grabs on a side headlock here. He ducked the lariat, and Page holds, tries to hip toss him. A gut shot, Page. Oh, my goodness, how about that Russian leg sweep? Diamond down.
Oh, he went for it.
Yes, but didn't get it.
It's amazing how quickly he can put it on, but Stevie Ray equally as quick that time.
Look at Page. Goes right on the floor. Two guys on the floor. He doesn't care.
Oh, he walked right into the trap, didn't he?
Boy, he really did. He walked right towards Vincent.
He's tougher than he knows. He's too tough for his own good.
Nothing wrong with that, I can tell you. To that top turnbuckle. Boy, Stevie Ray is just a street fighter. You can see it. Just pounding away, kicking. That was a lower abdomen, almost a low blow that time, but with force, sent him into the other neutral corner that time. And now starting to trash talk with our fans here at ringside, many of which have that shirt on we have seen, that OWN. One Warrior Nation shirt on already. Here's a pickup.
Backbreaker delivered by Stevie Ray. Here he goes for the lateral press. Oh, only a 2 count. Page able to roll the shoulders.
You're not going to pin Page like that.
No, but it's smart offense on the part of Stevie Ray to employ a move like the backbreaker. You think back to the months that Diamond Dallas Page had the injured rib cage area. Obvious that Stevie Ray, and there's Vincent now from outside, physically involved in this matchup.
And notice how Stevie Ray controls the referee's attention. Big arms.
And again, focusing his attack on the lower back of DDP with the bear hug.
Knowing what's been injured like we talked about, he's going right for it. Look at the triceps and the massive biceps on Stevie Ray. And the strong back, and that's something we don't talk enough about. We often marvel at the size of the arms and the chest, but the strong, powerful back. The lats.
Here he goes.
Trapezius.
Oh.
You can see it, but Page firing back. He's going to try.
Going to try and slapjack him here?
Right now, yes. And oh, boy, it took every ounce the straight Page had.
That was desperation.
To send that man over.
Great recovery after Stevie Ray spun him around. Page hits the clothesline.
Now Page, fist of fire. Back and forth. Combination blows, head of steam, swinging neck breaker. He's going for it right now.
Oh yeah!
Everyone in Peoria on their feet.
Diamond Cutter City.
Now Page gonna put the Diamond Cutter on Vincent, and the referee's calling the bell. Vincent came in, the referee's calling for the disqualification. They were working on that back, and now the Giant has arrived.
Oh, the big man, 7'4", 440 pounds.
And you knew nWo Black and White had a plan.
Stomping on the back of the head. Double teaming it. It's who's that?
Konnan from the Wolfpac to bail out DDP.
Diamond Dallas Page gets his hand raised. As you can see, the attempt to take DDP out was foiled. Thanks to Konnan and the Wolfpac. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out of time. And we'll see you this Saturday night for 2 hours on TBS.